Let's go indeed. Honestly, Shocks, I don't know how you did it. She just shut Chad up in less than 2 seconds. I've never been able to do that.
Yeah, she needs to teach the rest of us how to do that. Meanwhile, though, we should go
Let's
into
go,
the game.
it's happening.
Exactly, yes, because we're in the pistol round here. Faze Clan versus NIP, obviously pretty storied matchup just in itself. NIP, surprisingly good track record versus this super team that Faze is.
It certainly is, and already the bomb goes down, courtesy of Olaf Meister. He's going to continue some aggression, actually, not only getting the bomb down, but also firing some bullets towards Get Right on CT. Oh, look at that mini-map. It zooms in. It's gorgeous. Rain,
to see it.
hanging out towards jungle. They've got so much control for this after plant.
Yeah, and one of the issues as well is the fact that there's, limited utility and only one kit.
This is good, though. Look at Nico. He can provide the support, but Forrest does connect on towards Guardian. That's going to provide a little bit more pressure as they start to swarm in, and he has to win this fight. Olaf, already I'm seeing a defuse going. What on earth is happening? Nico starts to apply pressure, but the defuse does get knocked off it eventually, and FaZe will take it. That was chaos, Halvor.
That really was. I mean,
what the?
Draken committing. I mean, I think NIP plays that retake pretty correctly. Draken committing with the smoke and the defuse kit, you know, as best as he can, and pretty much Rez and Forrest, what they do is they play diversion.
Oh,
that's what really do. And there, yeah. So Nico finds the one angle. The smoke probably could have been placed a little bit better, but hard to do considering the angle it comes in from. Like Rain had shut off the entire rotation through Murder Hole into jungle, right? So coming out from the ticket area, really tough to get a proper smoke down there to cover pretty much every angle.
I'm so excited to see how this, you know, I mean, it has been well discussed on the desk.
Yeah.
How the buys look. This is our first real taste. We've had some online Counter-Strike, sure, but we've got hundreds of thousands of dollars up for grabs here and the very best in the world in attendance. Now we get to see what Valve's master plan, how it's been received by those at the very peak of the game. So, Nico once again in Palace. No surprises there, Rez. Oh, he has just gone straight behind 2 of them. He's only going to get 1. But NIP, they're putting up a solid fight here. Just pistols and Kevlar. A cheeky scout on Get Right. And they are stacked up on towards the A site. The info's there. Yeah.
Extremely off. Pretty much just this non-synchronized push from Faze Clan. You can see where Nico gets picked off by Get Right. He's all the way up by Firebox. Meanwhile, obviously, with Rez pretty much throwing a wrench into...
Dude, he was like ships in the night. He just sailed past both of them.
Sailed past. And honestly, it's quite fortunate that he doesn't get 2, you know, for Faze there.
And
Guardian
Forrest
him out.
Info, though.
Yeah.
Sprinting underpass. He hears the steps. He knows it's BM. Does make the call. Get Right's there to respond. That's the problem. Adren wasn't expecting presence so quickly. Actually, Get Right's done almost all of the heavy lifting. He finishes it off with the USP. 2 for him, 2 for Draken. And Draken back on the roster, Halvor. How does it make you feel? You got a tingle?
I mean, both yes and no. And it's partly because of the I guess, what do you call it? The Draken angles?
Oh, the 30%?
Yeah, exactly.
30 degrees?
Yeah, no, obviously, in many veins, you know, he's a similar player to what Michael was for NIP, right? Well, flashy opera, who could do very well for yourself, for your team, but he could also miss some very crucial sitters. And obviously, if you want to build stability, that might be hard. But I think Draken, you know, he would have had the opportunity to kind of dig within himself after being benched the first time, or, you know, taken out of the lineup. Then having to go through back to the tier 2 level, tier 3.
That's my theory too. I think that was a you know, swallowing his pride kind of moment. I think he really enjoyed the limelight. I think the limelight may have got the better of him a little bit. The fact that, hey, if I say this edgy thing on Twitter, it'll get some interaction and makes me feel good. But outside of that, into the game, I think he is an emotionally driven player, and that got to him. We'll see if this is a new look Draken, and we'll see if this is a new look Faze Clan, because they're looking to try and find some revenge, but Rez is shutting them up. Get Right's going to finish it off alongside Draken's Deeg, and we have ourselves NIP stabilizing swiftly after conceding the pistol.
They really did, and we saw a bit of a difference. Obviously, NIP for their first loss round, if you want to call it that, after dropping pistol, was to go with the Force Spy. I mean, something we definitely see, you know, every time and now with the 1900 bonus, I guess, that you get.
That was the purest of ecos, actually. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so Glock, I think it was a PT50 on Adren, and that was pretty much it. And that allows for Guardian to have an AWP in his hands right now. Faze Clan, pretty much as much of a full buy as he had at this stage.
Keep your eyes on Get Right. He's starting to apply pressure at middle, but Olaf, he's willing to take the fight. That's Draken down. That AWP didn't get a single penny worth of value. And Forrest, precise. Doesn't need an AWP to hit headshots long range, and now numbers do favor Faze, and Adren doing what Nico does best, emerges from Palace and finds Rez on the site. That is a free site now, but the bomb's not there. Gives NIP just a little bit of breathing room.
Breathing room it does give them, but they don't really have that much of a comfortable... Yeah, they're not sitting in a comfortable position right now. Forrest might be able to catch someone off guard. Guardian, though, has his eyes peered onto the spawn on Lekra, well, with a deagle in hand. We know he can do some magic with it, but As we all learned, Rain said, magic doesn't exist versus Faze.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll keep my wizard robe. I put
you haven't put it on yet, yeah.
Okay, so 2-2 as we hang out here. What an honor to be here. I'm going to be casting with Mr. Vendetta. Halvor or Vendetta? What do you reckon? What do we go with?
Everybody just calls me Ven, right?
Ven.
Because Halvor's confusing to anyone who isn't Norwegian.
And yeah, I mean, I'm included in that. I've been saying your name for 5 years. So, we venture into another round of Counter-Strike, and here's the buys we were expecting. The M4A1S, we haven't even touched on that, of course.
Yeah.
More ammo in both magazine and
they're full
magazines.
Magazines and full. I'm not going to say clip because everyone just latches onto that being the wrong terminology. But yeah, just more bullets in
more
total.
Bullets. Thank you. That's probably the most effective way to communicate what happened to the M4A1.
Yeah, more bang for your buck, literally.
I do like that side of it. I like that the M4 had some competition in the org. Now the A1's here.
And it's cool to see the switchback because Forrest was notoriously one of the players who held on to that silenced Colt for the longest of times. And just eventually, at the Major, for example, he played with the normal M4, I should say.
Did you hold on to calling it a Colt for the longest
time?
Yeah, no,
I'm old, cool. And I don't like change.
Well, things are about to change in this round. Full mid-control given to FaZe Clan. 60 seconds still on the clock.
And very interesting as well is that obviously we saw Draken having an op in the previous round. They've bought up a new one, but it's on the hands of Lekro.
Now that is interesting. Something Lekro, of course, was doing prior to Draken's arrival. Dennis, of course, departing the roster, looking for a bit of a break. Step away from the limelight that Draken has just returned to. At the moment, the T is starting to posture towards B. Lekro, speaking of the devil, catches Olofmeister through the wall, and we've got ourselves what looks to be Forrest next on the chopping block, but he's the one doing the chopping. 2 down with the M4A1 and bullets to spare. Lekro gets info and gets a frag as well, all on one. Adrent not quite going to go down just yet, and now actually Lekro's in a spot of bother. Nade's going to chase him up, but Lekro's too brave and evades the nade as well.
That's a meaty wall right there. He gets headshot with an AK twice.
Yeah, you hear the sounds, you feel good about it. The nade, you know, Adren's obviously convinced he's got 1 HP.
Oh yeah. No, he's taking himself like, oh, guy's so light. It's just like one little tap extra, down he goes, and maybe that creates an opportunity for him to isolate Forrest as well.
So can you keep your eye on the money and just kind of keep track of where these buys are going? Because I'm going to suck at this.
Yeah, already the rebuy on the side of NIP with another op, pretty much right after losing their first buy versus buy round. You know, that tells a bit of a story.
Aggressive. Now, these are the rounds you normally would expect no one to have a say in on the T side, but it is FaZe Clan, and those are Desert Eagles, or at least 2 of them, Nico and Olof, equipped with the hand cannon.
I think you only need Nico really to have one to make it a dangerous round. Lekro, though, is appeared in a pretty nice position here. Could get the drop on people, just like Draken does on Rain. Oh, there we go. I thought Nico was going to crouch a little bit further and get past the sights, but Lekro...
Here they come. Tags 1. Lekro is willing to switch to the USP, but the numbers are starting to look pretty damn good for FaZe Clan. Bomb down. That's mission accomplished in their mind. Anything else is a bonus, and it doesn't look like anything else will come of it. Forrest wraps things up for the Ninjas to find the 4th, but I mean, no complaints, I imagine, from FaZe.
No, absolutely not. It was a fairly limited investment on the side of FaZe Clan. And, you know, if you want to flip the script as well, one of the things you talked about on the desk is how much of an impact this new impact has on the winning team. Again, if you're stringing a lot of rounds together, this heavy reset is no longer in, you know, it's not going to happen to the team that wins a round, you know, then immediately gets, well, they don't get broken anymore.
We can't say broken or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, as long as, they lose the following round. After getting one on the board, that's not going to have as much of an impact as, you know, a potential NIP stringing a couple of rounds together here. And luckily for them, they're holding people alive.
Yeah, and so many different weapons. It's just interesting. We've had Lekro on an AWP, a pistol, an AUG, an M4. Everyone playing everything. Welcome to 2019. Forrest always responsible for mid-control. Has an AK this time, scavenged from one of the T side, and they're actually doubling up, tripling up on mid-control. 4 players from NIP invested into keeping control of middle. It puts a lot of weight on Lekro's shoulders, but now he's already found 2. Surely not a 3rd. The bomb's loose. He just has to survive. He's willing to take the fight, and he's punished for it. Guardian low, and finished off by Rez on the flank. NIP, they look tenacious. They're vicious, and they're not afraid to take fights.
They really aren't. And I mean, they have all the reason in the world to feel confident on a map like Mirage as well. I guess we didn't really get to touch on that initially, but FaZe Clan, they've had a bit of a wobbly map pool, just in general. And Mirage not being one of their more successful maps, but on the side of NIP, they've really only had 2 losses in the last 3 months, and that was one versus Astralis, which feels like a bit of a default.
Sure.
And then the other one versus Renegades, who famously beat Astralis on Mirage.
Yeah, which I'm sure we and they will not be forgetting in a hurry. Nice to see that mid control was so flexible. You saw how quickly, woof.
There we go.
Olofmeister died, but also how quickly Rez was able to support Lekro on B. He was alone, he was on an island, and within 10 seconds of T's starting to swarm the site, he was behind them.
Yeah.
Very nice to see. That's exactly what the tutorial video was talking about. There you go.
Okay, right, gets an easy drop on Rain. Well, even though there is a return from Guardian, it's not going to really amount to all that much. Adrenaline left to his own device. He's going to pick up the bomb. Maybe he can get some contact with at least a 1 P250
Yeah, he's dreaming.
bullet. They're close up, though. I mean, that does, yeah, there's the dink.
There you go.
But yeah, nice little tag team action coming in from NIP there.
I am really glad. I'd love to know your opinion to that Adren was given more of a shot. Of course, on a trial basis, he didn't have a great major.
No.
One of his worst land performances as of late. But he's been given enough time to actually kind of, prove his worth. And I think that's
actually get a fair shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, we all know he can be an absolutely astounding player. There's no doubt about it. Some guys won a major.
Yeah, he's a major champion, but also he put Gambit on his back at times.
Oh, God, yes. He's done that with a lot of teams. Even Asana Dragon said at one point, right? And actually, one of the things that's really fun, that's a nice pick from Get Right.
So quick. Guardian, he had the element of surprise. Get Right. His eyebrows didn't move a muscle. Numbers still favor NIP, though. 3 members of Faze clan and Olof. He's kind of locked out. Flashes, smokes, and bullets thrown in his direction. And the bomb in Olof's grasp. There is a presence in Palace as well. Adren there. It kind of looks like it all hinges on Nico.
Yeah. One of the things, though, that... Oh, there he goes.
Bye-bye.
Rez is readily available to deal with Adren as well. And that leaves Olofmeister. He has picked up the AWP, but not able to connect any shots. Well, I say that.
How brave are you, Rez? He has an AWP, he fires a shot at you, and you just walk towards him. Did get punished eventually. Nice quick swap from Olof onto the AK, and I love this angle. Smart, doesn't quite connect the shot. He did actually through the wall, Draken down to 24. He has time to play with, but this should be impossible. Back turned, Get Right, ready to strike, and they're on fire.
They really are. That's 5 rounds in a row for NIP. It's not a bad start at all. But now we actually get into the territory where we can see a legitimate reset as soon as Faze might get their feet on the ground and start doing things. One of the things I'm really looking forward to, and one of the reasons why I'm happy that we're seeing Faze play Mirage, is simply because of Adren. And one of the unique talents he had in all of his previous teams is he's notorious for playing apps, A-apps on the T side of Mirage, but he's also got this uncanny ability to always walk out of apps onto balcony unseen.
I thought that was Nico's superpower.
Yeah, but like I feel like Adren has just like invented that, and everybody knows it's happening. It's kind of like Get Right's backstabbing, in the early days of Counter-Strike. Everybody knew it's coming at some point, but he could always walk out. He didn't have to use nades, didn't have to, pre-fire any angles. He would straight up just walk out, find a pick or two, and all of a sudden the round is open.
I find that so impressive because it's intuition, it's using game sound, communication to build a mental picture of what the CTs are looking at and reacting to.
You're creating straight up just creating a blueprint of how everything is panning out in your head.
Like okay, we just got a kill in mid. That means that they're going to have to fill a gap. That means that Tribox is going to be looking at connector, which means now I go wide. It's so
it really is like, the scene from Beautiful Mind, right?
Yeah.
That is really what's going on in their head.
Yeah. Whereas me, they just say go on TeamSpeak and I just hold W and have a go.
Yeah, no, for me, it's like the scene in Beautiful Mind, but the numbers don't make sense, so I walk out and die.
It's all hieroglyphics for me.
Yeah. It's like just trying to do math live. That's how bad it goes.
Do that. And I mean, that's your job, because I'm certainly, I think I'm bad at maths in my Twitter description for about 3 years now, and now Valve changed the economy. I'm screwed.
Timeout.
It looks like it's starting to go live again. So the score, 2-7, Faze Clan. They started strong, but immediately hit the brick wall that is NIP's CT side. And Faze, we were looking into their recent Mirage games. We talked about it already, but the T side is where most of their issues have arose.
Yes, and again, if that's a result of, again, Nico being an in-game leader, Jacob talked about this with HLTV, the fact that there is a bit of a void in that role, and they're going to have to work towards fixing that. But it wouldn't be too surprising if that is one of the issues they're having. Maybe not enough people are providing intel for Nico to come up with new plans.
So
could be so many factors.
Are they following up on this? It certainly does draw the fire of NIP. Great observing. You can just see this blind panic. Bullets start to rain in nades too, but Faze, they've managed to draw all of that info and all of that utility out for free. Not a single point of damage done to them. Now they start to progress. The smoke's still there. They're not dissipating just yet. And on the very edge of the smoke, Rain starts to frown. Nico and him fall though.
Look at Olafmeister though. He's on a bit of a flank here.
Bombs down. You can see that bar ticking away. And it's all on Olaf. He is coming from behind now, of course, not to win the round, but just a little bit of damage, perhaps even scavenger weapon. That stream scenario, no one is looking at him. He might be able to take one here. It's brave, it's ambitious, and there's two. Doesn't manage to get anything from it, and NIP hold fast.
Unfortunate timing there, and really, the ideal position for FaZe Clan to be in there is obviously getting the plant towards Catwalk, preferably while the smokes are down. But again, Nico, Rain getting shot down through the smokes by Draken and Rez, that pretty much prevents them from getting control of either jungle or connector. That's why Olaf pretty much has to go through Kitchen, because he's not going to be able to do anything from Catwalk in order to prevent a defuse. But yeah, NIP handling that pretty well. Now we're getting into really interesting territory though, because now we're seeing weapons on Faze and NIP being in a situation where they could get full
again a heavy mid lane. NIP invest 3 players, 3 of their 5. I can tell you, maths is bad, but I can tell you that's a lot. And now Rain is going to be applying some pressure. I imagine that's held by someone. At the moment, I'm seeing backs turn, Draken aggressive in connector. Forest does have the possibility, if he's feeling brave, to look under.
It's making a lot of noise back and forth, though, so Rain's definitely going to relay that in front. Draken has gone down.
They're going to go for the boost. I don't know if Forest can see this. He's going to go. This is fantastic work from FaZe. Now just 3 remain for the Pajamaed Ninjas.
Get right. Currently the sole defender of that A-bomb site is in a position to at least get 1 frag, but it's all about being able to stem the tide enough for the 2 remaining players, the 2 remaining teammates of Get Right to actually rotate over. And they're pretty deeply committed to B at this point.
I like the FaZe are not forcing the issue, though. They've done their damage. They know they have the numbers. Now it's time to regroup. They leave one, a sole spanner in the works by the name of Rain, but the majority will be flooding from ramp, and just 1 man left to receive them. Get Right, he's got a lot on his plate. Yeah,
and they still have a healthy amount of utility on the side of FaZe as well, so they can clear out Shadows, they can clear out Sandwich, all of these integral positions where, a solo defender could do a ton of damage.
Here they come. Get Right, no information just yet. Now he's starting to hear the mollies, he's hearing the steps, he knows, he's making the call. The CT's unwilling to move just yet. You need to get more than 1 here, Chris.
He's playing the long con here. Oh, he's not able to get the connection onto Adriana Guardian, actually finding Lekro as he perks around Catwalk. I think he's Rez. Surprise!
Whack-a-mole.
Oh, down Rain goes.
NIP did get a sleeper buff when the M4A1, because Forrest has done ridiculous things with that thing for a decade.
Even when it was considered the worst rifle, he's still able to do magic with it.
He must be loving it. He must have just been scrolling through those patch notes, briefly scrolled past this economy
I think he's the kind of guy who just goes like, opens the Csgo block, goes Control F, M4, dash S. If nothing shows up, he's like, it's not interesting.
I mean, that's like you. That's you didn't even know there was a patch because you just did Control F Colt, and you were like, oh, nothing.
No, nothing. Yeah, no. Like, it hasn't been a change to Counter-Strike in like 7 years. I don't know what's going on.
Living in the past, but FaZe starting to look towards the future. 3 rounds to start things off. Our first game here on the A stream, of course, 2 streams running simultaneously. Need I remind you, we do have 3 games happening at the same time. This is the Blast Pro way, and it is intense. Best of 1s up until that grand final.
And I mean, while we were highlighting the fact that we would see a reset on the side of NIP, they've done such a good job of keeping players alive up until this point that they're flushed with cash. I mean, post-buy, Rez obviously saved, so he's sitting at the most cash, but that's a pretty healthy stack of cash.
They're good for the rest of the half, I imagine, as long as this survivability continues.
Yeah, if they save a couple of weapons here and there, they should be fine, actually.
Double AWP, though. Draken and Lekro, both of them have shown an affinity with the weapon already on Mirage.
And I was about to, I wanted to touch on that point, because with Draken coming back into the lineup, I was thinking to myself, like, surely we're going to see double ops coming back. But the secondary AWP and that double op setup has always been Forest. But maybe he's just refusing now, because he's got his favorite gun back.
Yeah, he has his pocket AWP in the M4A1, and it doesn't cost as much. So let's have a look, see where they choose to implement this one. As once again, a little bit of an early lead, a very fast flash towards the top of mid, trying to contain any initial battles for presence, and burning alive. Rain toasted down to 65. Look how confident Get Right was, just walking into ramp. That deep Molotov enabled him to do so, and now a deep smoke to follow it up. This is hyper aggressive, and it's being rewarded. He's able to scoop away. surely not a re-aggress. He's thinking about it. He has his teammate support in the form of utility, but they have utility too. Manages to get around the corner, forces them to go wide, and the punishment is there. Draken gets one, but Faze, they're hitting shots. It's what they do best. A 3v2, and the bomb likely to go down.
And no smokes on the side of Faze. So you have to be a little bit wary about Lekro. It seems like Olafmeister has an idea of what's going on. Gets back up from Guardian, so not only NIP who can double up. Forest, well, this is what we talked about. With the economy reset, have to be a little bit wary about...
Yeah, full nades, no complaints. That's the fourth, though. Faze have found a way in.
And we know they, like, as much as trouble as they've had, you know, after losing Kerrigan with their T sides, their CT sides have obviously been pretty decent. It is Faze after all.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So the individuals aren't necessarily going to be that much worse there. It's more about getting the tactical structure in order.
Olaf flirted with the idea of taking that secondary AWP in the T side and probably made the wiser of the two choices.
Yeah, if you want to keep the pace up, again, double ops is not really the way to go. I guess it could be like the desperation kind of thing. If you're down, you know, it's NIP on match point, that kind of a thing, then you try, you know, by any means necessary. But seem to be in a good steam of things as of right now. That's 2 rounds in a row.
It started so strong, though. I mean, like, that looked great from NIP. The fact that they were willing to take so much early aggression and kind of take the wind from the sails of Faze. I love the control towards ramp early, but a flurry of 3 frags in very quick succession. Forest, smooth moves. He's on the KZ servers at night.
Oh dear. Draken taking the chance. Draken going wide instead of, I guess the usual path probably would have been like into the angle that Draken was holding.
Oh my goodness, was that a score update? I think I just saw 9-0 Ents MIBR.
Oh damn.
Keep an eye on that one. That is correct in my ears, I can't believe it. 9-0, Ents looking to replicate the success they had in Katowice. But back to the game at hand. Bomb lingering towards ramp, and mid being vied for by both. Rez, he's taking some gambles here. It seems like responsibility is not just his, though, and as he reveals his location with a bottle of flame, Forest plays the game, catches Nico.
Olaf not able to get the punish. Oh, Rain even able to adjust at the right time. Lekro with the AUG on A site, though. He can do a lot of damage with this. He still has Get Right period with him as well. Rain, ooh. Bit of a cheeky move here. Goes through jungle from connector. Lekro's on it. He knows what's going on. And Get Right, look, this is aggressive.
What game is this? This isn't Counter-Strike. It certainly isn't NIP. Pushing
all over the place.
They recede. This is what's so interesting to me is they flirt with aggression, and then as soon as the connections aren't there, they're not overextending. Straight back to their crossfire on site.
And what I really like is that what you mentioned as well. Like they're taking chances in mid even after losing the first pick. But that's actually what gets them back into it. The Molotov from Rez. Ooh, Get Right.
Oh, this is going to be a problem. He's low on sight, but still finds the frag. And now Guardian, he's going to be finished off. A lovely little USP connection. Gets the AWP as well. NIP 9, phase 4.
Oh. NIP just evenly spread on the frag count as well. Everybody getting into the fun.
I mean, that's what you want to see. Draken's death, I mean, let's not over-investigate it. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah.
It did look silly. It looked like an overextension, an unnecessary one.
Yeah, and but what you'd love to see is what NIP do after that. The fact that Rez drops the Molotov in top mid, obviously a big risk considering you have 2 players in an underpass, but that allows him to, well, activate Forest, who's aggro on Cat.
That smoke's going to leave Rez all alone, but the precision's still there. Nico, Guardian deleted, and he's able to scarper away. He paid a price. 80 points of damage, just over.
You take those trades, though. Yeah. Happily.
Take them all day. Adric executes Get Right.
Oh, that it is dangerously close to Rez.
So Faze have the numbers, and Rez so low. I say they have the numbers. They certainly will in a second. If Rez does go down, but Forest is there to trade. These crossfires live on. Where's the bomb? Olaf's taking it towards B. Rain's going to be the spearhead.
Is he can actually expect Lekro to be lurking around here, though? He surely should be expecting at least 1 player, but not in time.
Oh, got to be a hero here.
A jig is up. There is 1 minute left on the clock, but Olaf's made his presence known. You see the rotation coming from NIP as well, and a nade and an off connection from Rez. It's going to put NIP into double figures. Really well played. And again, like you can see how well thought out their mid aggression is. I mean, they've been doing it consistently, but they've also had like backup plans for whatever may happen. In this case, obviously Rez picks up 2, but they also have like a getaway plan for him as well. That's why Force drops the Molotov down into underpass, so Ring can push aggressively to get that return frag. And obviously that's massive in order to maintain map control. Ooh. And yeah, it's frustrating to play against.
We've all been there. We've all been there. I can tell you that. Draken starting to cast his eyes towards middle now. No longer Rez's responsibility. You're not alone. Great connection from Draken. Not willing to find a second Guardian. Shuts him up. But Rez goes wide. This is so aggressive. Those extra bullets being tested, but not today. Olof beheads him. So 3v3 as the dust settles and so much time left to play with.
Yeah. Lekro actually going pretty aggressive here in B-apps. NIP doing such a good job of just limiting the amount of space that FaZe has to work with. They saw that in that chaotic round where you have one player pushing up mid and the Get Right pushing into T-pit towards T-spawn, just never letting FaZe actually breathe.
And not letting them reset. I mean, speaking of reset, Olof wouldn't want to at this point. Look at the control he has now. Jungle off limits, but not far off from Forest's gaze. Adrian, in the meantime, you talked about his prowess in Palace.
Get Right with the auto sniper as well.
Oh, it's an auto.
Bit of an iconic weapon for him as well.
That's a warning shot if ever I heard one. And switches to the AUG. Counter-Strike 2019. We are off to a flying start. 40 seconds of FaZe fully committing towards this A site now. I say fully committing. There is 40 seconds.
They're being very timid about it. Look at Lekro. He's brazen as ever, running behind T-spawn.
If he gets the wallbang here, it's going to be curtains.
Oh, the smoke
lined it up. Guardian down, but bomb too.
Yeah. The smoke being down in front of connector allowed that to happen.
Olof and Adrian then forced to play this after plan. It's pretty awkward.
Good positions though.
Do they know Lekro's here?
No, they have no idea.
And that's going to be a problem. Adrian down. Now all on Olof. 3 players to find. He just has to find this frag on Forest first. Otherwise, he's going to be locked out. The Molotov's down, as is Olof. That's going to be the final round of the first half of our first game here at Blast Pro Series Sao Paulo and NIP. 11 rounds on that CT side. That's comfortable.
That's very comfortable, especially considering they lost pistol. They lost pistol. They brought it right back, obviously, with the force buy. We saw some great scout and deagle work coming in there. Oh, Rez with the CZ as well, pushing aggressively to T-pit to make that happen. But FaZe just really never finding their footing.
Yeah, I mean, you would say they need to start with a pistol, but that didn't work well for them in the first.
Yeah. So maybe the magic here is to drop pistol, get a solid force buy ahead.
Yeah. Get the scout, because that works so well for Get Right.
Yeah.
But individually, I mean, I know we've described FaZe as this powerhouse of beef in the Counter-Strike server, but at the moment, NIP do look like the stronger individuals. Like these guys are looking fearless, and they put the crosshair on the head and click pretty damn well.
Absolutely, and I mean, one of the resounding determining factors on the desk was Nico, right? He's not really been able to get into things. Rez punishes Olaf's aggression towards B.
The bomb's not there though.
Yeah, but that's a solo player on B.
And now, that could be a problem. They're going to see the bomb if Get Right takes that frag, takes the fight.
Oh, they're running.
They're starting to charge. If Get Right enters a battle for survival, he has to get more than one. Now the bomb's loose, and things could spiral. Yes, 3v3, but a very hefty advantage. Not only does the entire FaZe squad know where the bomb is, they're also where the bomb is.
And I mean, this is not a situation where NIP have the luxury of having utility to force players out or set up pop flashes. It's just pure aim and, well, basically expecting the correct positions.
So role reversal right now.
That's a quick shot. Draken's going to know his position. He's well with it as well.
Great connection. He does have the info. He knows one's ramp, but now Lekro's job is to find the second. Likely towards Palace.
Oh, is he going to be brave enough to walk through this? They have time to wait it out, though. It's 40 seconds left.
Yeah, no rush, and that's smart. Draken, he thinks about Palace and connects. Now Adrian starts the aggress, and this could get awkward. It does. FaZe were given everything. They were given the world in that round. Get Right was sweaty palms in spawn alone with the bomb, but still NIP recover with what seemed like a T-sided defense. I mean, it was a real backwards round.
Pretty much. That was a bit of an awkward one, especially because it starts off so well for FaZe as well in that 3v3. Rain finding the connection onto Lekro. Even though he does get picked off from Draken, that's an immediate, confirmation of where you can expect one of the remaining NIP players. And you should be able to deal with that if you're FaZe.
Guardian.
But that scout, so prophecy might ring true.
Oof, that's a quick flick, and he does connect. Forest is forced to operate the rest of the round with just 12 points of health. Looking for a repeak, and that greed is punished. Draken finishes the work of Lekro.
Rain's gotten into forward position here with an MP9. See that one? Nico with the deagle could be deadly. For now, seems to be giving up any sort of challenges towards mid, letting NIP have that space. Smoking Rain off as well. There's no gap above there.
He's hitting the steps, and that's going to be the call.
Oh, is he going to get baited out, though? Oh, he actually finds Force as well. That's a great job from Rain. Get right, though. Left with Lekro.
This is bad. This is really not going to go well, Lekro. He has support. No bullets. Get right, forced to the sidearm. Lekro's there with his. And now Rain. 1 versus Get Right. He's got 3 in this round. This would be the 4th, but Get Right shatters that dream. An effective round. Brings it down to the 1v1. But nothing to add to that scoreboard. Still 4 now to 13 of NIP.
Rain's got a significant amount of money because he got so many frags with that MP9. 4-3, they could go for like really wonky Force buy, having Rain with an M4 or an AUG. Especially considering, I mean, the buy coming in from NIP is SMG heavy, to say the least. But they're going to opt with pistols. So
let's see how this gets going. A stack towards B. It's very gambly.
Get to boost up one guy in the secret agent spot.
If they commit fast here, this could be a problem.
They're
all charging in. Draken's already got 1, Rain down, and now they start to work it out. It starts to unravel, and it's not causing any problems because Rez's Mac 10, his Glock, everything working for NIP. And despite having everyone there, they could not make it happen.
Barely did damage. That's rough. That's really, really rough for Faze. But they will get the opportunity to get some weapons on their side now, and a healthy amount of grenades as well.
Meister
dropping the
saloon here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're running out of options. They're running out of chances. NIP closing in on the magic number.
Doing so in style as well. Lekro even going to be a little bit greedy here, holding on to the Mac 10. Just waiting. It's the smoke he's got ready to go.
Why so late?
Get right.
What's the theory here? A late mid.
I'm not really sure what the holdup is, really.
Let's see how Guardian reacts to this. Suddenly, window and short smoke is used to back away, recede into connector. Looking to find a little angle over the smoke. Nothing there, though. Things much slower from NIP. Look at this. Rez is considering a sweaty wallbang, but nothing to write home about. And instead, things will take somewhat of a slowdown. Keep your eyes on Rez, though. Don't forget about him, because he is once again going to be given that lurky role, looking to apply pressure once his teammates start the walk.
Yeah, both him and Forrest actually held up towards mid right now. And for FaZe, this is a constant issue of worry, right? Giving up mid control, they haven't seen anything for so long. And now, again, getting denied any opportunities to find information towards that mid area.
Draken restraint seen now from the Swedish AWP. Just holding that Palace push as Adrent on the other side of things considers ramp clear. I say that. He knows it's coming. That should at least be 1. Yeah, Get Right down. He saw the shadow. Should be 2 despite the flash. Now bomb loose. Faze looking comfortable, and Nico's going to extend that. Not the second, though. Forrest too quick.
Well, he's quick, though. Again, bomb dropped. And so is Draken. That's Rain with his first frag of the round. Forced on 10 HP. You don't really stand to do too much with 15 seconds left on the clock here. Yeah, solid hold from FaZe there, considering how limited information they had for pretty much the entirety of the round. Solid individual work and Adren with the aggression. Really making all the difference there.
His teammates kind of decided that one for him. And now Forrest is going to keep hold of that AK, no complaints from him. So, 14-5. NIP, they can... I mean, this is the conversation I find so interesting. When you are so far up, especially on the T side,
yeah.
A, play the economy smartly, don't have to take any risks, but also take some risks with the strats. What's your take on that? When you've got so many rounds to play with, why not try and surprise them with something a bit more lavish, a bit more extravagant?
I mean, from a strategic point of view, I can definitely get on board with that. In terms of how you purchase, I'm definitely more boring in that sense.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Yeah, you could well enough try like some fancy executes and really go crazy with that. Just bring out the PhD in how to play T-side Mirage. But definitely do so with the weaponry and utility in place.
A lot of attention on middle right now. 6 of the 10 in the server casting their eyes towards one very small part of the map with very big implications at the moment. Nico going to be Molotov'd out and responds in kind with a flash for Rain. Now he starts to go wide, but no one there to receive just yet.
Oh, he didn't spot the boost either. There's no smoke to cover them.
Oh, Nico...
He has an idea.
He has an idea, but he hasn't seen anything, and that's power to NIP right now.
The one unfortunate thing here for NIP, though, is that the one they've gotten into window is Draken, and he's the only person without a rifle.
And so the question will
is he going to be the initiator here?
I imagine he's coming in late.
would make more sense.
Now, Draken takes the fight. AKV Deagle, we know how that story ends, but damage done, down to just 8 points of health. Quick from Guardian. He's so aggressive. Oh, and he gets another. Lecro gone. Nico's going to keep him safe and sound. A Guardian's quick today. Woo, we may have a game.
We might have a game on our hands, indeed. That was a bit of a force buy as well. With Lecro having that previous Mac 10 held for so long, he had money to buy up an AK. Draken dropped off whatever he had to get a Deagle. So they did get 4 AKs into it, but they spent everything they had. And now it's going to be an interesting twist to see how this pans out, if Faze are actually able to mount a comeback. We talked about it. We know that their CT side is going to be strong. It's their T side that's been really the crutch of...
And twice now, we have been so close to pure ecos, and someone has to buy a P250. Draken, that puts him down to 1,700. Now, previously, I'd have said that was ill-advised, but I have no idea.
I think it should be all right, considering they're on the T side right now. And it doesn't seem like he's going to be the dedicated opera on the side of NIP, at least not judging from their CT side so far.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Off. He should be able to lock this one down quite comfortably. Orp does connect onto Rez, and now it's going to be down to Rain just to hail the bullets towards Apps, and problem solved. Olaf's going to clean things up, and Draken's P250, money well spent. He takes Olaf out of the equation. We have 7 for FaZe Clan. Wow. And once again, a buy will be coming out from the Ninjas. So what have they tried so far? They've dabbled with some heavy mid control, been dealt with quite nicely.
And that's pretty much what they did. They didn't really get the opportunity to attempt an A take, right? Because of Adren's aggression. So when they, throw out all their utility, Adren's there to cut off any sort of pressure point from T-Pit. So I feel like that's definitely, again, an option for them to explore.
That smoke was
very
something
early.
I hadn't seen before so early. I didn't see where it ended up.
Connector.
Connector? Okay.
Yeah. And I think they did that when they did the late take as well.
Love to see that one again, but still fast from Rez. Look at this, he's like a bloodhound. He's seeking Rain. He just managed to find cover, but that's a problem. Now Rez continuing to go wide, but Rain's there. He's a turret, but he's going to have to do something quite heroic to deal with the spread of the Ninjas in Pajamas. Lecro's already taken down Nico on the rotate. Forest catches him in a gap of the smoke, and now just Adren and Guardian. Guardian locked out for another couple of seconds. Now the smoke fades, and he's given a chance. A very small one.
So, in this scenario, FaZe has won 3 rounds.
This is
Rain is sitting at 2.9.
Guardian's made it slightly more doable, but now times the factor. The flash is so unlucky. Adren's going to have a chance. Forest shuts him down, and now Guardian, he's rocking a hard place type scenario. We have 15 for the Ninjas.
Yep. With that rather clean 3 rounds in a row for FaZe, though, they will have enough money to buy up here. Only really Rain is taking a bit of a hit, but he might get dropped the weapon, actually. He will. That's Adren spending his entire bank to make sure everyone's well equipped. So it's more or less a full buy.
Real head and shoulders above the rest. Rez with his average damage per round into the 100 mark, where you start looking at the MVP.
He's been exceptional as of late. Like really, really. He had an absolutely astounding run through the majors, him and Forrest especially.
Adren, we talked about his aggression on ramp. He does burn his toes. They know he's coming. That doesn't stop him from fragging. And Nico's there with the support. Just like that. Blink and you miss it. 90 seconds left in the round, and already this one's as good as done for FaZe Clan. NIP, of course, going to look to say otherwise. Rez, Get Right, and Lecro. They're spread out right now, quite sporadic. No trades whatsoever possible, and that's why they're hitting the brakes.
That's a smart thing to do. And I mean, they did that on the T side as well. Even when they got advantages, they weren't rushed into any sort of wonky executes or ill-advised pushes. So definitely some restraint being shown. On the side of NIP, though, considering that there's no mid presence for FaZe at all, and there's no real quick rotations in place. So if they opt to go with 3 players towards B here, there is an opportunity to either isolate Olafmeister or Rain with the utility they have left, because they have a lot of it as well.
Yeah, a whole lot of respect given by FaZe Clan. Notice 3 still just sticking to their guns on A. Lecro, he could expose his bottom here if he's not careful. And that's it. Lecro's found a way into the site. Rain, the next to be tested. Oh my god, ships in the night once again. Back's turned. It's going to be Rain. Oh, I love that. Trigger
sneaky
discipline. All 3 jumping behind him. He could do so much, but Rez! How do you look there? So smart. He checks it. Lecro's already jumped straight past him, but that doesn't stop Rez checking. A cursory glance towards the back of Apps, and that's all it takes.
Oh, I think Lecro even spotted one of the players inside of Kitchen as well. He does have an eco to deal with here. Flash comes in.
Good. This is really good from Faze Clan. Nico can't find the second, but that's info. Rez, though, he's hitting all his shots, and we have a victor. NIP have done it. 16 to a mere 7 of Faze Clan. It looked good for a while. They just couldn't handle Rez. Draken 20 as well. They're delivering. They're fragging.
That was a bit of a quiet 20 as well from Draken. But again, if you can have people quietly dropping 20 for you, take that.
I wouldn't complain, and I'm sure the Ninjas won't. Faze, on the other hand, I mean, when they put this one in review, it did seem like the first half was once again the issue. This T side, it looks a little wobbly.
Yeah, definitely so. And again, it's I guess they'll have to work their way into the tournament. Nico did just arrive today.
Yeah,
it might be a little bit.
I will cut the guys some slack. It's a long flight. It's a very long flight here to South America, the beautiful Sao Paulo, and more beautiful.